All right, our final inductee of this evening has added substantially to his celebrated racing pedigree by winning consistently at the best plateau. A three-time O'Brien Award winner as Canada's champion driver, he understandably holds the record for most races won in this country, many of which are the most notable, including multiple scores in the Breeders' Crown, Maple Leaf Trot, the Canadian Pacing Derby, and a highlight win in the 2012 North America Cup. His remarkable talent is accompanied by a philanthropic spirit and just a delightful dash of class clownery. The Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame is proud to induct Randy Waples.
Despite 2021 driver inductee Randy Waples being born with harness racing in his blood, he still needed to earn his accomplishments as a driver. After spending close to 10 years honing his craft at tracks throughout Ontario, the trajectory of his career changed in 1996 when he won 150 races in just under 1,200 starts in what would be the first of 22 consecutive years as a driver with earnings reaching into the millions. A three-time O'Brien Award winner as Canada's Driver of the Year, Waples' long list of stakes victories include the 2012 North America Cup with Thinking Out Loud.
Rushing up on the far outside comes Thinking Out Loud as Waples pushes the button. 3 across finish coming up in Cup 29. Way out wide and closing is Thinking Out Loud. And Thinking Out Loud is loud and clear to win the North American Cup.
3 Maple Leaf Trot wins with Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame 2016 inductee Sandpail. Breeders' Crown Championship wins with Sandpail and Dream Fairy Turtle, Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame class of 2014. And 2 wins in the Canadian Pacing Derby with Strong Clan in 1997 and State Treasurer in 2015. Other notable accomplishments include 4 Battle of Waterloo wins and leading driver honors in Ontario Sire Stakes earnings in 2001, 2002, and 2010. In April 2018, when harness racing moved from Woodbine to permanently reside at Woodbine Mohawk Park, Waples was declared the all-time leader in wins at the Toronto facility with 2,605 victories. When named to the Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame, Waples was the all-time leading money-winning driver of races held in Canada, sporting more than 6,600 wins and $131 million in purse earnings. While the majority of Waples' career has been spent on Canadian soil, his name was also added to the U.S. record books when he won the Kentucky Sire Stakes final at the Red Mile in 2000 with Real Desire for Hall of Fame trainer Blair Burgess in 1:50.4, a world record time for 2-year-old pacing colts.
Making the presentation to Randy Waples is his father, Hall of Fame member Ron Waples, and also Fred Hoffman.
So you guys got one more in you or what? I'll make it as quick as I can, short and sweet. I didn't write anything up there because I really didn't know what to write. I'm kind of in awe of the whole thing, to tell you the truth. It's hard for me to wrap my head around the great horsemen that are already inducted, the great horsemen that are in this room, both sides, standardbred and thoroughbreds. Yes, I do watch a lot of thoroughbred racing too. I enjoy it very much. It's an amazing experience, very humbling, and there are a few people that I really would like to thank. There's just, the list would go on and on and on of all the great opportunities that I've been given, the great horses that I've got to drive, and that have made me look like I knew what I was doing, even when I didn't. So starting off there, I'd like to thank my parents, Ron and Josephine Waples. My mother couldn't be here tonight, but there was no bigger influence on my career than my mother. She's a very special woman. My father, Ron, you might have heard of him before, same last name. He basically showed me levels of driving that I knew that I would never attain, but sometimes when you chase, you can get into the photo finish, and that's basically the way I look at our driving careers. I've always been second to the greatest driver in the world, in my opinion, and it's just an honor to have the last name. My brother Ron Jr., not a whole lot of people know much about Ron Jr. I was lucky enough to grow up with an older brother like this. As much as my father showed me that I would never attain his level of driving, my brother also showed me that I would never attain his level of work, because there was just no chance of ever being able to work with this guy, simply because he knew no hours, no minutes in the day. It would just be work, work, work. And it was, again, a humbling experience, but he taught me what it was to get up out of bed in the morning and show up and do my work. And for that, Junior, I'll never be able to thank you more. Fred Hoffman, why you did what you did for me, I will never know. You know, you basically turned me loose on a big barn full of really nice horses, and not only let me drive them and get established and start to win races, but you were always in my corner. You were one of my biggest supporters, always has been, and I'll never be able to repay what you've done for me. And also, I would also like to say to Angela and Abigail, now I'm going to start crying. As Paul said, when you're in this business racing horses at night, and at one time I was racing horses in the afternoon and at night, you miss a lot of family things, and you can't always be there when you want to be there, whether it's sickness or something, you know, that's for school, or something that really has to be father first. But sometimes you can't be that father first. You got to be the driver first. And I can never thank you guys enough for the support that you've given me over my career. Don't do that, Ab. You're going to make me cry. And all I can say to you is I've been very fortunate with both of you. Very, very fortunate. We have standardbreds and we have thoroughbreds, but what we have is we have horses. And a lot of people will say that dogs are man's best friend. I totally disagree with that. If it wasn't for horses, I would say that dogs were man's best friend. But I've always said that horses are man's best friend, because I don't think that there would be a person in this room today that couldn't trace back to the fact that we are here because of a horse. Because at one time there was no automobiles. The doctor was brought to the house to deliver a baby by a horse. Milk was brought to the house for the baby because of a horse. Horses went to war with us. Horses did everything for us. They plowed our fields. They took us to church. Well, we didn't go to church much on our side of the family, but I'm sure that a horse did take some people to church at times. Just maybe not ours. Well, yeah, we were racing Sundays. So, but no, they're an amazing animal, and we are all in this room. We owe everything to our four-legged friends, and they're the most amazing creatures God ever put on the face of the earth. And I'm just very fortunate to be in this room with you guys tonight due to horses. Thank you very much.